Alright, we're going to talk about the themes editor, and we'll go ahead and log in. And once again, just a reminder, you scroll down in your system and you will see under website content manager where you can log in by clicking this link. You enter your username and password and you will be presented with this screen. From here, if you do not see the themes editor button, it's because we may not have activated access for you, and that's just because there's a lot more involved on this side of the system, and we typically do all that for you. However, it is your site, so if you want complete unencumbered access to the theme editor, let us know and we'll be happy to turn that on. So assuming that is on, you simply click it and that will take you into basically the overall framework of how the website is going to work. And you can have multiple themes in here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and browse a library, and now when you see these you're going to probably go, oh wow, that one looks great, but just keep in mind that when you choose one, the photography, all of that is not there. What you're seeing is you're seeing, like, for instance, this is the layout of it. This is the menu is going to be across the top. You can see just kind of generally how it's generically laid out. In this particular one called Backpack, you can see that there's an image that's uploaded in the background. So if that's something you want to do, you can certainly, that's a good one to choose. Down here, this one here is pretty interesting. This is quite a good one actually, because this whole orange section on the top can actually be a photo. The background is a background image, or it can be a color, and then you can have a banner in here. All of them will allow you to put a banner there, but you can see there's a lot more room. This one's nice. You can see it set up kind of where you have your large image at the top, a little brown area at the top here, and then in the mid area you have an image, and then in the background you have this background color at the top, but then you have another background texture or something else you can upload in the bottom. So here's the general layouts. Okay, now what I'll do for this particular session is I think I'll go back up to this backpack. Actually, you know, I'll do this one here. We'll go ahead and work on this one a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and install this. Now, by installing it, it doesn't mean that it overrides your current site. This is our current website here. It says Commerce Assurity, and that's commerceassurity.com is where it is actually at, and that's the one that's live. This is your mobile theme that I'll cover after this particular module. I'll cover one about how to set up the theme for your mobile app. And then over here, and by the way, I want to tell you this is not the mobile app as part of your back office system from us, which is a way different type of mobile application. It's really more about doing system management, membership management, and members are able to manage their ad network and so forth from that app. But this one is converting your website into a mobile dynamic presentation, which is really important too. So when people go to www.commerceassurity.com on their telephone, you might want to try that. You will see how it converts it into a mobile dynamic site. So that's what I'm talking about when I say mobile. Okay, so we're going to go in, and without disturbing our current website, we're going to go ahead and modify this theme. You can see here that when we're done, if we want to apply it, then we can simply click this button and apply the theme, and that'll override this one, but it won't delete it, so you can always go back. It's pretty nice. So we're going to go ahead and click Edit, and this will bring up the theme builder. And I mentioned earlier that the top area is available to put in an image, or you can just change the color. Now let's start with colors, and let me kind of give you an overview here. At the bottom are all of the controls for the theme. This is for the kind of the rules of the road for the whole entire website, because once you apply the theme and you save it and you go in and build pages, your pages are now going to take on a lot of the same characteristics that are dictated by the theme. For instance, if we go into colors, we have primary color. So let's say that, because this does a really nice job at matching, so let's say that we want to change the site to be more of a blue color. So I'm going to go ahead and change it here, and that looks pretty nice. And you go ahead and click set, and you're going to notice that the other buttons all the way down the stream change to really kind of match and take on the characteristic of that primary color. Now what this will do, like I said, it dictates what happens in the pages, because when you drag a button onto a page, which I showed you earlier, then it will be a blue button instead of like an orange button. The headings, when you drag in the different headings in the pages, when you're editing text for instance, are going to take on the blue characteristic now. You can see the body text black, which is the good one to use. Text links and dividers and all those things are changed here, but you can granularly change any of these colors. So if you wanted to change the little dividers, those are the little lines that separate the text, you wanted to change that to black, you can just simply change it to black or change it to blue. You can change it just like that, click set, and now the dividers in this theme will actually be this color. I'll go ahead and change that back. I don't know why, but I'll change it back. Now that's the color management of the system. Now typography, this is choosing the type of font that's going to be used consistently through the website, because web developers will tell you that you want to use consistently the same typography throughout the site, otherwise it looks pretty messy. So once you set the rules here, it'll hold that rule consistent for all the headings. So if you're using the largest heading in your pages, then it's going to be this size, it's going to be this height, it's going to have this much height, this much space between the letters. Decoration, is it always going to be underlined, overlined, is there going to be a line through it? Text transform, is it always going to capitalize, lowercase? What are those rules? So you can set all the rules here. So if you have staff that are using the system quite often to make edits for you, this is how you're going to be able to manage what they use throughout the site. So there's a lot of flexibility here, and you get tremendously great support from us here. So if you have any questions after the training, you can always contact us. This is Elements. This is where you can dictate how the buttons are going to look, how the dividers are going to work, how large are they, how the billboards are going to work, how the social icons are going to work, how the highlighting box is going to work, how your navigation is going to work. You have a lot of granular navigation control. Once again, the typography, the line spacing. If you watch at the top here, I'm going to do a little adjustment here. I'm going to change the link spacing to wider. You can see it changed here to wider. I'm going to now put in link dividers, and I'll use colored link dividers. So now I've been able to adjust that. When you select any of those up here, it will change color. So if you want the selected color to be a yellow, for instance, then you can move the over here into the yellow section, and then you move, I messed up. Let's just click here to yellow. Alright, and then you can drag this over to the yellow that you want. There's a yellow. I'm going to go ahead and set that. And now when you select on like About Us, you can see here it turned yellow. The background, you can change the background of that. You can change the navigation bar here, for instance. Let's go back to typography though at the top. You can see you can change the font style. Let's just change it here to something kind of crazy so you can see how it changes here. We'll change it to Berkshire, and there's Berkshire, and let's say that we want the weight. We can have it normal is all that's available for that particular font. Size 16, let's say that we want to bring that up to 30. You can see now you have a really bold menu bar. The letter spacing, that's the spacing between the letters. If I want to force it to be all capitalized, then I can do that, and no matter what you put in there, it will always capitalize the first letters. And let's say I can change the bevel to be a little cleaner if I want to. I can change it to italic. And then you can also do many other things. We'll continue down here. Elements. The footer menu, you can go here, it'll take you to the footer. You can control all of these. You can actually decide what this is called. Like a lot of times we'll just put contact us in here, and that'll be where we actually put in we put it in here. And then the links column, we might want to call this like in a lot of sites that we do, we might call this member education. And then you can add a link. And remember, what's the training center for your members? It is Commerce Control Panel. So Commerce Control Panel, and we're going to go ahead and put in a link here, and we're going to open it in a new window because we want them to easily be able to come back. So http://www.commercecontrolpanel.com. Alright, so now we have the first link to our member education, and I see I spelled member wrong, so we're going to fix that by just going right there. And then you can either decide to have another column or you can just get rid of it. And then over here, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll go over here to the, close this here. Okay, and we can change this to area weather. Okay, and what I do is I have some images, and we'll go ahead and click this button, and I'll go to my graphic server. I'll go to W for weather. I know it's in here somewhere. There it is. And you can see here I have licensed images, and let's go ahead and we'll just use this one. Now you'll notice the size here is 200 pixels wide for the image in the footer. Seems to work really well. So I can go ahead and choose that, and it uploaded it. And now what I want to do is I want to link that to weather. So I'll just go over here to weather in Google 95971, which is our zip code. And I'll go down and grab the 10-day weather forecast. This is the one I usually grab. And I'll grab that URL by copying. You can't see this, it's outside the recording, but I'm in the URL section of my browser, and I'm copying that link, and I'm going back down to the theme editor. I'm clicking in the link box. Once again, I want to open this in a new window. I click link URL, I click accept, and now I have that done. So I'm going to go ahead and save. I've done quite a bit of work here, so I'm going to save and continue and keep going. Now what I'm going to do, because we could spend an awful lot of time here, but I want to show you an exciting thing. This is the background image, and what you can do is you can set this. Now we highly recommend that your background images be 1920 wide, pixels wide, and at least 1680 pixels tall. Now if you don't have, if it's only 1400 and it's just the most perfect image in the world, go ahead and use it. But I'll show you that the real number is 1920 wide by 1680 tall is the industry average. And I'm going to go down here to backgrounds. I'm sure I have backgrounds here. There we go. And I'll go into 2013. I know I have some backgrounds in here. And here's a, I call it beautiful 1920. I'm going to go ahead and choose that. It's going to update. And you will see that it will come in, and now we have a complete background image behind the scenes, if you notice to the left here. And I'll go ahead and save this, but before I do that, I'll do another thing. I can change here. You can see that you can just change my name, and I can remove this one. If you don't want this, you can remove it. Sometimes it's a little weird this way, so I drag it out of the way and then you can get to it. And then right here, your social icons, you can see here that let's say I only want Facebook and Twitter, so I delete these other ones, and now you just put in the URLs and they'll be clickable here. But let's say that you want this at the top, and not at the bottom. So if you see where it says top margin 350, it's pushing it from the top. So you just go 0 and you will see that they'll now go to the top. I'll go here. You can put it in the middle, for instance, wherever you might want it. You can set the side margin if you want to. You can change them to like extrude, which is a different style of icon. The radius, side margin, if you want to move it away from the sides, you can do that too. And then you can change the color of the header. If you click on background, you can see that you can upload an image here, and then you can change the color. So let's just say that we'll change this to this really ugly yellow, and you'll notice that when we do that, that yellow that we selected for the selection color in the menu bar doesn't work very well anymore, which means that you would need to go back in and actually update that. So I'm going to change this color to a blue, go back to where we were, and that's how you adjust that. Now if I go ahead and want to like move this around, you just grab it and move it. Also with the menu bar, you can also change this too, and remember, if you go back in, you can change the height of it. You can just change it entirely and completely replace the menu bar with something entirely different if you want to. So we're going to go ahead and publish this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to temporarily apply it to the commerceassurity.com website and show you what happens. So I'm going to go ahead now and save and close. I published it, save it and close it. And I will, if you notice, I'm back to my theme management system. I'm going to go ahead and actually, before I do that, let me go to commerceassurity.com and bring that site up. I see I have a internet connection issue here again. Okay, there we go. So there is that current theme. We're going to open, I'm going to duplicate this tab, duplicate the tab, it'll bring me the same page. I'm going to go to the theme manager. I'm going to now click this apply button. It's going to now move the green checkbox to that theme. I'm going to go here, I'm going to refresh it, and you will see what we were able to do in a very short amount of time. And you can see there's definitely work to be done. Like, I made this menu bar way too big, and you know, you have to go in and adjust it. But here's our footer, here's our weather, here's our link. This is where our contact information was. If you notice, all of the content in your website is preserved and moved over into the new theme, so you lose no information whatsoever. But I will go back now and put that theme back to Commerce Assurity by clicking the apply button. And I will go back in here now and I will refresh this, and you will see that it will bring it right back to where it's supposed to be. Anyway, that is how you work with the themes.